So I had bad leg pain last month and had to use a walker/cane to get around. Turns out I had tumors, not malignant. Had surgery recently and put on a wound vaccine before switching to a wet to dry bandage last week, as my wound is healing up faster than expected. I can now walk better. I'm using a walker when I go out, now just waiting for my next operation to get it sutured. Events of this story happened yesterday. Now, story time. As mentioned, I'm walking well again. Physical therapy helped a lot. But unfortunately, I can't walk too well either, as my injury is still healing up and I can't fully bend nor lift my legs straight up. For example, when I get into or out of bed, I need to be sitting down, then have to scoot my foot from my injured leg on top of my right foot and lift it up into a bent position, then slowly carry it up and over onto the bed. Or when walking, I have to move my leg out to the side and forward to take a step, so it looks quite awkward. It doesn't help that a few nights ago I stepped on a chicken bone my dog left in the hallway at night with my right foot and got a gash on my heel. So now I'm walking with one leg out to the side and the other on my tiptoes. This is a tiny bit important. So my dad, my awkward steps, and I headed off to the store for groceries. I had my walker and cane, but since there were grocery carts, there was no need to use them. We make our way in, and since I have the cart for support, my dad grabs a basket instead, and we decide to split up to cover more ground while we get what we need. So I'm going about my business grabbing items, checking prices, checking on my phone to see if we have enough money, occasionally putting things back. I like to walk around as it helps with my leg as well as keep me occupied, so I'm putting things back in their respective places in aisles, just taking my sweet time. Note that I'm not wearing anything that resembles this store's uniform, which is black short-sleeve button-up, black slacks, black shoes, non-slip boots. I'm in a black t-shirt, pink shorts, and wearing socks and sandals. I'm now near the frozen dairy section, picking up different cheeses and putting them back, then doing the same with some ice cream tubs. Chocolate swirl, chocolate chip, Neapolitan, rainbow, mint chocolate chip. Oh, how my sugar levels must hate me. At some point, this man comes up near me and stops. So I pull my cart to the side, thinking he's trying to get through. I wasn't blocking the aisle, and there was plenty of space, but I like to be polite. He starts up, "Hey, excuse me, could you help me out with finding a specific item? Also, I don't need these anymore. Do you mind?" As he takes packs and bags of meat from his cart and places them in mine. Now I have my own meat already picked out from the dealie section, and this guy is quickly placing his own, along with other items like beans, pasta, drinks, and what have you, in my cart, and now they're mixed up with mine, and I have no way of knowing which belong to who. I quickly try to pull my cart away and put my hand out forward over my cart to stop him. No, I do. I don't work here. I'm sorry. He stops, but now his friendly demeanor changes. I just saw you putting things back. A few more won't hurt. I shake my head. No, well, yeah, but again, I don't work here. I don't even have the outfit or uniform. I'm just doing my shopping. Please take your things back. His face changes again and looks genuinely sorry. Okay. I'm sorry. Really, I'm sorry. I'm sorry about that, and he takes his things back. The end? Oh no, not just yet, unfortunately. I apologize for giving off the wrong impression that I worked there. I had no reason to apologize, but that's just how I am. I once turned a corner and bumped into it and apologized to the wall, no joke, and we said our goodbyes. I continue making my way down the aisles, once again taking and placing items when a woman comes up this time. She sees me and quickly puts her basket down and speed walks toward me, snapping her fingers at me with, hey, you boy. Boy, I thought to myself. Oh, nah, instead of my friendly yes. I unfortunately still give her the time of day and simply answer what, in a rather rude and annoyed tone. She stopped in her tracks and scoffed. What? I'll let you know what. There's nobody at the registers. There's only one girl there, and the line is so long and far. Go open another one. Now, I'm not one for confrontation, especially if it can be avoided, but I won't let anyone walk over me anymore as I had done in the past. I've been going through hell lately, and I've finally decided to grow a backbone. First off, I don't work here. Does it look like I do? Second, don't talk down to me like that. I'm not your child. This, she interrupts me. No, listen here, honey. I'll talk however I want. You're no one to tell me anything. Who are you to lecture me? Get me someone that isn't an insult for a mentally challenged person to teach you how to do your job. I shake my head in disappointment. That's messed up. Don't say that. Good luck to you. And I begin to walk off. Again, I'm walking awkwardly, and she points this out as she stays behind. Well, if it walks and talks like a duck. I shut my eyes, grit my teeth, grip the card handle, and take a deep breath but keep moving without looking back. Dad and I meet up again, and he puts his basket in my cart. We make our way to the registers, and 2 more have opened up. He needs to use the restroom, so I wait behind before getting in line. He had the money and the lines were short, and I didn't want to keep other people waiting at checkout while he was gone. Who should walk by but the witch from earlier? She eventually notices me as well, and we glare at each other, and she gets out of line and up towards an actual worker standing off to the side. She tugs his arm, points to me, and both make their way toward me. Him. Me what? She tugs on the worker's arm and keeps pointing. He's the one who harassed me and insulted me. He wouldn't let me get a word in when I needed help and brushed me off. Very rude. Worker is either slow, isn't paying attention, or is trying too hard to stay on the customer's good side. He barely raised his eyes at me and said with a shoulder shrug, "Dude, what? Come on, man. You're better than this." What? They didn't teach you that isn't how you deal with customers. Basic Training 101. Woman pipes up, "You need to respect your elders, don't you know?" I snap back, tired of nobody getting the hint. I don't care who you are. Respect is earned. You're the last person to be talking about respect. I don't work here. Do you understand? You know what? Screw this. I leave the cart where it is just as my dad is making his way back and limp towards him. He asks, "What happened? Where's the cart? Why aren't you in line?" I say in Spanish, "They can go to hell. They have no respect here. That freaking lady won't stop bothering me, and that guy doesn't care about what she's saying. I tried explaining I don't work here, and they're both being idiots." My dad glares over at them, puts his arm around my shoulder, and we slowly walk out the store. He says in Spanish, "Well then, they can go to hell," he said. Mind you, I don't curse at all in Spanish. I wasn't raised that way since my parents didn't even speak that way around me growing up. I'm even afraid to say pinch, which basically means freaking as in no freaking way, so me cursing up a little storm like that meant I was quite mad. We ended up doing our shopping at another store further away, peacefully, to the first guy in the freezer section. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week. Sorry again for the confusion. To the lady, I hope you get a hangnail and ingrown toenail on your pinky toe. To the ignorant cashier, I hope you're the last to close up. Everyone's gone home, and 3 of your tires have popped, so you have no ride home. Buckle your seatbelts and get ready for an amazing story. If you have ever been to a grocery shop in summer, you know it's chaos. This sub reminded me of a story I had from a few years back. Story. Cast, ignorant customer, me, manager, and worker. So, I was shopping at Asda, British Walmart basically, and I was in the frozen aisle looking for some veggies when I feel a sharp prod on my shoulder. I do a 180 and am met with a Karen. All the perks, haircut, face, and even an hideous purse. Ignorant customer, take me to the Coke section. Me, I don't work here. You do? Look at your clothes. I will admit what I am wearing looked a bit like the uniform from behind, but at the front it looked nothing like it. I don't work here. Leave me alone. I pulled out my phone and called a taxi as I don't have my license. Karen hits my phone out of my hand, causing it to shatter because I don't have a case. Me. What in the world? Ignorant customer. You don't need your phone while you're on the clock. I don't work here. This caught the attention of a worker who called the manager who called the police. The manager came over and pulled Karen away from me and told her he called the police. Karen freaked out when she heard the P word. She slaps the manager in the face and shin kicks him. I think the worker was a veteran or knew karate because he pinned that Karen down easily. Police arrive and take statements as well as camera footage. They look through ignorant Karen's purse and find her ID. They look up her name, and she has a warrant for assault of an officer, fraud, and theft. Since there was evidence of all crime, no court was needed, and Karen got a hefty fine and 10 years. And I got the newest iPhone and enough money for a new gaming PC, so a win-win on my end. My "I don't work here" story is the opposite of what would normally be posted, but it's kind of funny, and sometimes you just have to switch things up. I was in the paints aisle at a major hobby craft store buying acrylic paints for my color theory course. I needed exact matches and was using the color guide the professor gave us. I needed about a dozen paints. Due to this, I ended up kneeling down on the floor, laying out a variety of paints next to the printout before making my final cut and putting them in a handbasket next to me. I had something like 30 paints of differing brands laid out in rows. This took some time. Note, I was in plain clothes and the employees wore an apron as their uniform over plain clothes. I can understand the mix-up. Some time goes by and a teenager comes up to me and asks where the watercolor pencils were. I'm familiar with the store and tell her it's just on the other side of the shelf I'm facing, towards the bottom. I almost wanted to say, "I don't work here," but she had a list and I'm guessing she was a high school student. Besides, I knew where the pencils were and it didn't hurt me to tell her. Few minutes pass and she's now returned with 3 sketchbooks and presents them to me. I'm still on the floor and asks me which one is best for watercolors. I tell her none of them will work because they're for sketching, so I get up and walk around the end of the aisle, grab a pad of watercolor paper similar in size, and bring it back. She thanks me and hands me the 3 rejected sketchbooks, which I set on the floor next to me. I figured I would just put them away when I'm done putting the paints back. No big deal. Finally, I'm at the registers in line waiting to pay. The young lady I had helped ends up being in the line next to me, just a person ahead. She's putting her things on the counter when she glances around and recognizes me and smiles. She says, "Thanks for the help," and I nod and smile back, telling her it was no problem. I also, at this point, thought, okay, maybe she knew I didn't work here and just saw a friendly face to ask for a little help. When it's my turn at the counter, the girl is passing me with her bag of supplies and she stops and goes wide-eyed. She says, "Oh my God, you don't work here. Why did you help me?" I'm laughing at this point, telling her she's fine, and I didn't mind. So she runs up and hugs me, saying she's so embarrassed before running out of the store. This was pre-COVID times, so yeah, I accepted a hug from a sweet stranger who thought I worked there. It was a cute experience. I used to work a lot in retail when I was about her age and through college, and I guess it's my vibe or something. People are so ugly all the time out there in the world. It was just nice being nice to nice people. That doesn't happen often, unfortunately.